Scientists have been studying algae for decades, but turning algae into polyols requires more than biology. It also involves chemistry and technology and imagination. San Diego is a nexus for the scientists and the entrepreneurs who together are shaping the modern algae biotech industry.
I mean, the really important thing that you have in these is its surface area, so you get sunlight to shine on it. And then what the mixing does is that allows the algae to tumble, so you're exchanging. You're getting the oxygen out and you're getting CO2 in, and those are the two critical things.
Here at UC San Diego's Biology Field Station, Mayfield and his students simulate real-world algae production.
So this one happens to be a marine algae called Nanochloropsis. Nanochloropsis is a green algae that naturally makes and accumulates high levels of omega-3 fatty acids. So you and I always hear, oh, you should eat more salmon, you should eat more cold water fish. Well, in fact, fish do not make omega-3 fatty acids, algae do. And then the algae are eaten by krill, and then the krill get eaten by the salmon, and so they accumulate in the salmon. So here what we're doing is we're getting rid of the middle fish. But what we're looking at here is how long can we keep an algae pond going? So algae is agriculture, and just like any agriculture, you always worry, oh, is a pest going to show up and eat this? Am I going to get a fungal infection or a bacterial infection? So this is really just to see how long we can keep it going and how much omega-3s are made in it, depending upon the time of the year.
Growing algae is pretty basic. They need water, salty or fresh depending on the species, plenty of carbon dioxide, lots of sunlight, nutrients, and just the right temperature. These wide, shallow ponds are models for larger scale production. They grow different species of algae for the different compounds each one makes. The ponds are fine-tuned to just the right conditions for each kind of algae to produce its specific compound, while keeping photosynthesis and cell division rates at their optimum.
We call this photosynthetic biomanufacturing. So that's what these guys are. They're little single-celled engines where the energy input is from sunlight, the carbon comes from CO2 pulled out of the atmosphere, and then I get to make proteins, I can make carbohydrates, I can make lipids, I can make nucleic acids, I can make all those things.
Well, you're not making them, they're making them.
They're making them, that's exactly right.
Algae biomanufacture proteins used in animal feed and human foods, lipids for cosmetics, nucleic acids for pharmaceuticals, and much more.
It's one of those things where, you know, now that we've been doing it for several years, it's like, oh, why didn't we think of this before? It's such a naturally obvious way to go. But it just takes a little while for technology to sort of catch up with reality.
Scientists are looking at using algae to treat wastewater too. It's a trash to treasure opportunity.
So algae are the most efficient organisms on the planet at pulling nitrogen and phosphate out of wastewater. So for us, for any group, you have what's called primary treatment. So you grow it aerobically and the bacteria chew up all the sugars in it. And then sometimes you'll put that through an anaerobic digester, right? But what's always left over is nitrogen and phosphate. Here we dump it out into the ocean or you pump it underground. But if you ran it through an algae pond, that water would be so clean you could drink it after that. And sooner or later we're definitely going to do this in San Diego, and I think it'll be done everywhere.
UCSD's California Center for Algae Biotechnology serves as a research partner for the biotech industry, which then develops algae applications. For their research, scientists and students grow algae in these on-campus ponds. And like all good farmers, they work with their crops every day.
So that's a little sample of the pond that we just put in there.
And what are those?
So those are little single-celled algae. That one happens to be called Cenodesmus. They're little banana-shaped guys.
They really are small because that's only 10 microns, right?
That's only 10 microns. So
that's
these
really
things are,
nice.
yeah, several thousand-fold.
So we're seeing them and we're just seeing sort of a little sack of green. If we were to look inside, what would be in there?
So what you'd see is the same thing that you see inside of a plant cell, actually. You'd see a chloroplast, and you'd see mitochondria, and you'd see a nucleus, and you know, they're carrying on photosynthesis. That's why they're kind of green colored.
So they all look the same. Is that typical?
Well, when you have a good pond, they all look the same. But this is the real world. And so what quite often you'll find is that 99% of yours are Cenodesmus and 1% are something else, a weed as they're called, a weedy species in there. So we get weeds in our algae ponds just like you do in your garden.
As scientists refine the methods for growing algae, they develop models for large-scale production. That opens the door for algae extracts to be used in a wide range of products. Other algae are bioengineered in the lab to produce compounds for use in medications and pharmaceuticals.
What's growing in these guys right here is called GCSF, granulocyte colony stimulating factor. So that is actually the protein drug that you take that stimulates white blood cells when you're taking chemotherapy for cancer.
A tiny single-cell green algae called Chlamydomonas is making a compound that until now has only been manufactured in commercial laboratories.
That little brown is all we get out of about 2 or 3 liters, but it's very concentrated, very purified, and higher value.
While microalgae's potential is vast, it's not easy to scale up for industrial production. As they resolve those issues, UCSD researchers foresee algae-based products that touch many aspects of our lives. And as production becomes more cost-effective, a flood of these little one-celled organisms just might revolutionize the world.